Another beautiful day. Yeah, me again. And I hope you people are doing good. Hope your health and strength is good. Five senses work. Now, we talking to you Steam Deck fans again. But this time, it's about Xcloud on the Steam Deck. I'm about to put two videos in the description box. One is a step-by-step. The other is there's a walkthrough. So, hope you enjoy the videos. So the article goes like this. Xbox Game Pass and cloud gaming on Steam Deck. Is it any good? It should be. Remember, Microsoft, Linux, competitors. Xbox, Steam, competitors. Epic Store, Game Pass, Steam, competitors. GOG, Steam, Epic Store, Game Pass, they're all competitors. So yeah, Microsoft is giving y'all an alternative to play Game Pass games through the cloud, which is a good move. So, of course, Game Pass is good on the Steam Deck. Anyway, listen to this. Is Xbox Game Pass cloud gaming on Steam Deck, is it any good? It says a somewhat official solution for a Game Pass on the Steam Deck. But the two videos that I'm leaving should do some explanation for you. Listen to this. Xbox Game Pass is officially on the Steam Deck. Well, kind of. I've spent the last few days testing Microsoft game streaming service on the Steam Deck. Here's what you need to know about the magic of Xcloud gaming on Valve's shiny new handheld, and whether the current experience delivers a portable Xbox fantasy. Says here, before I dive into the overall impression of Xcloud gaming on Steam Deck, the fear involved setup process is worth mentioning. During the Steam Deck review period, Xbox Cloud Gaming technically functioned through the Chrome browser in desktop mode. Unfortunately, the integrated gamepad for the handheld device wasn't recognized, and this meant you have to connect an external controller or mouse or keyboard to play Xbox Game Pass games in the browser. Given the portable nature of this device, that wasn't the most convenient scenario. Says here, recently Microsoft partnered with Valve to bring a beta version of Microsoft Edge and ultimately Xcloud gaming to the Steam Deck. This client allows simple access to the browser version of Xbox Cloud Game directly from your Steam Deck library. Unfortunately, there are some serious steps you'll need to take to get this makeshift app functioning properly. I won't be diving into the step-by-step process. I got a video for that. But anyway, for getting Xcloud gaming running on the Steam Deck, for folks interested in typing in this beta for themselves, here's a link to the official setup instruction. If you have a USB-C hub and are willing to connect a mouse and keyboard and USB drive to your Steam Deck, the setup isn't overly complicated and should take less than 30 minutes. However, if you have hoping for a quick and easy install, be prepared to put in little legwork to get this running. Welcome to the world of technology, people. Trust me, I build PCs. I got certifications in computers, so trust me, I'm used to it. But anyway, it says, after jumping through some hoops to get Xcloud gaming set up on the Steam Deck, I am happy to report that the experience is mainly streamlined and responsive. The Xcloud gaming beta client appears in your Steam library under non-Steam categories. Opening it takes you straight to the browser-based version of Microsoft game streaming service. If you're an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, simply sign into your Microsoft account, and you'll be all ready to start streaming Xbox games. As streaming, let's see though. Oh boy. Anyway, as the name and the entire setup process suggests, this is very much a beta. The client itself is finicky, and occasionally certain titles on Xbox Cloud Gaming won't won't open without a restart. However, the client function as intended is undeniably impressive. Navigating the game hub with the Steam Deck gamepad feels fantastic. And getting in and out of games is generally quite speedily or easy. Says another title here says title like Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 absolutely shine from a visual standpoint. You already seen the video on Digital Foundry. Yeah, they put some work into that. But anyway, it says here, next 3 paragraphs here says, now it's time for 2 most important questions. First, how do games look and feel with Xcloud gaming on Steam Deck? Titles like Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon absolutely shines from a visual standpoint. Resolution and fidelity, especially on the Steam Deck 7-inch display, are occasionally impressive, and I rarely notice any extreme artifacting. Obviously, there are some noticeable downgrades when directly compared to the native gameplay from the Xbox Series X/S, but as a convenient standalone experience, you likely won't notice a huge difference. What about the dreaded input latency that typically comes with game streaming? In this respect, I was far less impressed with Xcloud gaming on the Steam Deck. With simplistic side-scrolling platform like Infamax, the input delay I experienced felt relatively minor and manageable. However, when trying to get in some intense rounds of Halo Infinite multiplayer, the delay became dramatically more noticeable. After a few minutes of playing, my brain eventually assimilated to to latency, but the tangible input delay absolutely impacted my overall gameplay. Says here, experienced in a negative way. In previous tests with mobile device, I have had superior latency stream via the Xbox Gamepass app while connected to a dual brand router with 1 gig down. By contrast, my least effort to stream Xbox Game Pass titles on my Surface Duo 2, sorry about that, via 5G haven't provided consistent result, and in some cases has some marked worse than my initial testing on the Steam Deck. When it comes to my experience with Valve's handheld, I was roughly 3 feet away from a dual band wireless router, which for my space is the best case scenario. Then I ask another question, is Xcloud game worth trying on Steam Deck? My answer would be yes. But anyway, says here, I'm almost done here. Says here, okay, last three paragraphs here. Says here, Xcloud gaming continues to improve each day, and we have already witnessed numerous upgrades to visual quality and latency. But as it stands, there are a host of problems with beta version on the Steam Deck when compared to playing a game natively. We simply aren't close enough to deliver an experience that's good enough for all types of games. Sea of Thieves running natively on the Steam Deck is infinitely more enjoyable than the browser-based streaming alternative. On the plus side, with titles like Halo Infinite and the Master Chief Collection, this serves as convenient means of accessing specific Xbox titles that aren't supported on the Steam Deck due to anti-cheat client compatibility issues. It's also an excellent way to circumvent the Steam Deck storage restriction. The last paragraph here says the fundamental tech of Xcloud gaming is genuinely remarkable, and I'm hopeful that with a proprietary, got it right, proprietary app for the Steam Deck, Many of the issues we're currently seeing with this beta client will be resolved. We have ways to go before cloud gaming serves as a proper solution for most players. But if you have a Steam Deck and one and overwhelmingly convenient way to access Game Pass, literally Game Pass library of hundreds of games, Xcloud streaming is still worth giving a shot. Sorry about that. You're laughing. Anyway, so this article just gave an overview of what Xcloud gaming is like on the Steam Deck. But every person that gets a Steam Deck will have their thoughts and inputs on it, and I'm sure Valve, Microsoft, they're all looking for feedback from everybody. How the experience is going with Xcloud on the Steam Deck. I mean, the Xcloud that they have on the Steam Deck is the beta version, but I'm sure, like I said, Microsoft and Valve are getting feedbacks, from the consumers that have the Steam Decks already on ways Xcloud and Steam Deck can improve. So they're all ears with this, but what they're doing is providing a service, and Microsoft, they have succeeded. When you really look at it, they took Game Pass and it didn't keep it to themselves. They provided for Windows users. They provided it for Linux users, and they provided for iOS users, and that was huge. To see Apple Apple, to see Apple gamers, Apple enthusiasts, Apple enthusiasts playing Windows games on their device. So Microsoft has succeeded, man, with this Xcloud. Of course, Phil Spencer was the head man leading the charge, and the heads at Microsoft, listened, and they have succeeded, with Xcloud. So now you got Xcloud on Linux, Xcloud on iOS and Windows, and of course Xcloud on Xbox. And Microsoft have succeeded, and like I told you guys before, the entire gaming world run on Windows, but the entire gaming industry runs through Microsoft. And Microsoft right now runs the gaming industry, and they have succeeded, with Xcloud being on Linux and Xcloud being on iOS, because the iOS part was huge, so they were looking at the bigger picture. When they said sales ain't the end all be all to video games, they were right. When they said Sony and Nintendo wasn't our competitors, it wasn't disrespect. It was to tell them to wake up. There's other competitors out there. So Microsoft is all about bringing the gaming community together, and what they're doing for the gaming community is fantastic. It's fantastic, man. And this was a good move on Valve part 2 for creating the Steam Deck. Because PC gamers, they needed a portable PC, and Valve took the charge. I mean, Microsoft themselves still can make a portable PC if they want to, if they choose to, but they got their hands full with this whole Game Pass thing in Xcloud, man. And they have succeeded, man. And it wasn't no monopoly, when they made those moves they made. When they got ZeniMax Bethesda, that wasn't no monopoly. And when they get Activision Blizzard, that ain't no monopoly either. So this was all about, all the moves that Microsoft made was about keeping the game industry afloat and keeping it moving, versus having it stagnant and it's not moving, or it's not progressing. So you got to give them their props, man. And yeah, that was a that was a good move they made when they created this Game Pass and Xcloud. You know? They they did it for the gaming industry, not for themselves, but for the entire gaming industry as a whole. You know, and, Valve saw an opening too saw an opening with the Steam Deck, and they haven't looked back. Based on the videos that you have seen from Final Fantasy VII Remake running on the Steam Deck, it was needed. So PC gamers now got their hands full, got 4 choices right now. You know, they got the desktop, the laptop, the Xbox, and the Steam Deck. You know, PlayStation players can play Game Pass games too once they purchase a Steam Deck, because Sony put some of their games on the on PC gaming. So yeah, right now the gaming industry is thriving. It's growing. You know, and you gotta respect Microsoft for what they did. You know, you have to give them their respect and their props for what they did. You know, they kept the industry moving. You know, and they was making moves all over the place. You know, and look at the Linux community now. They can play Xbox games on their Linux machines. You know, on their Linux desktop. You know, so they got Steam and Game Pass to deal with. They got their hands full. Linux users, man. They got their they got their hands full. 50,000 plus games and more coming in, and then you add Game Pass to the mix. Yeah, Linux users got their hands full, man. They do. They got their hands full. Like I said before, there's 24 hours in a day, man. You need 8 hours of sleep, and the rest you got to divide between work and stuff like that. So how many games can you finish within a year? So yeah, PC gamers right now, iOS gamers, they're all gaming right now. Linux gamers, Windows gamers, and iOS gamers, man. They're all gaming. They're all gaming right now. And what Microsoft did for the industry was really fantastic, man. When you really look at it, you know. Now some YouTubers will try to focus on. They always try to talk about the Xbox. They always try to talk about the Xbox One, right? But last time I checked, the Xbox One players is loving it. They're loving it. You know what I'm saying? They're loving it, man. And I mean, they're really laughing at the haters too, you know, because when Microsoft, you know, created cloud gaming, the 360, the Xbox One, the 360 and Xbox One benefited from it. So the 360 and Xbox One got longevity, you know, and they made a lot of improvements on the Xbox One, and the 360, you know, they didn't leave the 360 out. So yeah, and then throw the Series X in the mix, and they're good right now. They're good. Linux gamers, what they're up to, what, Ubuntu 22.4? Me right now, I'm using Ubuntu 18.4, and because the desktop that I'm using right now, it only can handle 18.4, because for me to run 20.4, I got to go above architecture 386, and my computer is architecture 386, so I'm two Ubuntu operating system behind, but I'm gonna take care of it one of these days. But right now, Ubuntu is good, and Linux gamers they're loving it, man. You know, to see the gaming industry just for what Microsoft just did by bringing the game industry together, by not leaving anybody out. That means iOS players, Linux gamers, of course Windows gamers, and then they weren't leaving those guys out. You know, because in order in order for Game Pass to really succeed, man, you need the iOS fan base, you need the Linux fan base, and they have succeeded, man. Microsoft has succeeded. And Linux players are liking it. iOS players love it. And of course, Windows and everybody is just gaming right now. So yeah. But, more games to come. We're in the month of March. Today is what, the 23rd? And there's more games to come. So imagine Batman Gotham Knights on the Steam Deck. October the 25th, man. I am looking forward to it. Yeah. PlayStation is working on a PS5 Pro. Nintendo should have stayed with the Wii U, because the articles was really talking about streaming. And whenever I bring up the Wii U, I said you can stream games from the console to the tablet. They should have stayed with it. Microsoft is working on a new Xbox. Apple do what Apple does. Linux does what Linux does, and the gaming industry is good right now, man. Right now, video games are in abundance. They're in abundance. The games are coming out so fast now, man. And the games, they're huge, and they're big. And if you miss out on games like that, man, it hurts you. You know, and it's fun. These games are they're fun to play, man. So right now, the gaming. I got to give Microsoft their props, man. They brought the gaming industry together, you know, with Game Pass. They were really trying to, you know, bring the gaming community together, and they did. Once they created Game Pass and Xcloud, they didn't leave the Linux users out, and they didn't leave the iOS users out, so they brought them all together. And everybody's gaming now, so yeah. But anyway, I'm going to leave those 2 videos for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Poor Dark Side. Go. Peace.